Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Coldfire and I'm doing reading. So if you want to go and check out part 1 and 2, you can do that. But if you're just looking for a summary of the energies, it is a completely different reading, I must tell you. Okay, the summary is different from part 1, which is the introduction. Part 2, so the clarifications, and part 3 is a summary, very different on its. I'd started recording the video and I was notified to check my audio, and it was very bad quality. So if anybody comes up on here and sees and can't hear the streaming well, please let me know. Let's take a minute to gather our thoughts and energies. Concentration exercise. Okay, let's get started with the summary. All right, so I'm going to go right to left, but there's one point that I would like to mention here, that you have surrendered all the thought forms and uh, thought processes that do not resonate with you, that you might have picked up from your companions, okay, all throughout your life, the people who have been in the same boat as you, if certain phase in your life, schooling, university, work, etc. And you've basically surrendered all of those because uh, you realize that that times the way you thought about things or the way decisions was influenced, the your feelings were getting influenced by somebody else, or you've absorbed certain things by being around other people, by observing other people, which might have gotten submerged way deep into your subconscious, and then you're sort of like now cleansing that, purging that out, okay. And all of that is getting crystallized and is being given to the top karmic soulmate that both of you all have. For many of you, I see this as a stranger, but but for some of you who are on the end of their journey, at the end of their last lifetime, sort of dealt with this person together, you and a divine counterpart, okay. All right, so let's start with about this Ace of Wands clarified by the Eight of Wands. So communication is coming in, very strong communication, as I saw the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. It is definitely uh, some sort of commitment coming in from your. This is passionate communication. They're passionately, they want to, um, they're passionately driven to communicate towards you, and it's like an epiphany moment. It's just happening just suddenly like that. The shift is happening very suddenly from the this full moon to the new moon. Full moon is of endings and new moon is of new beginning. This entire phase, we have the moon here cycle depicted here in this reading, which is going to be a part of the summary. So you and your person are basically surrendering all of the external influences that have been clouding your judgment, okay, to the source. And once that process is over, then the first day of the new moon energies, even if you're in the shadow period, because this moon card, it it is it's in this row, right? This new moon, the moon cycle ends a row before this shift. The wheel of fortune row is like the day, um probably the day after the new moon, okay. That is the so this is the 17th and this is the 18th of next month. Next month, sorry, this month, okay, July. We're having a big new moon here on the 17th of here, as in planet Earth. We're having a big new moon here, new beginnings, because we're the North Node is shifting into Aries from Taurus, and in the South Node into Libra from Scorpio, right? So that's completely contrasting energies and completely different elements as well. So we had earth and water, and now we're going to have fire and air, right? So it's a big shift, and it's happening suddenly. It's like you might have given up, like, I've been damaged far too. I'm damaged goods, like, I've had influences from previous exes, from the place that I grew up in. 717, as I said, grew up, so this could be mainly about the city or town or the home, the locality, the religion, school that you went to when you were a small child, that where you started interacting with people that could. So you've absorbed these things when you were a child, and now so there are some things that you absorbed when you were a child. So I went to a Catholic school, and the school was all boys school 10 years before I joined it. So they were they were very different with us. Like, they treated us like boys, all of the girls that were there, and we were tomboys. We had a lot of energy. We ran around a lot. We did. The school was very, very uh, i- inclusive of all the religions and all the teachings of other religions, so that our adults making around us had an impact, and that was Catholic choices of living, and especially celibacy, etc., because there were nuns and fathers and brothers and sisters there that had a very different lifestyle choice. So if it doesn't even have to be that big a contrast in who you were or are now, but it could be the smaller things, that the bigger contrast. I think you'd surrendered it. They were a major part of you, and now that you've resolved them. Anything that didn't fit the major influences, you'd already surrendered. We're talking about all the very residual, very small things that you might have picked up, and that's the way partner or yourself, because um, somebody else you knew was very suspicious about the people around their partner, because they were afraid that their partner would cheat on them, or like have another life, like you hear all of the various companions that you've had. They have had different experiences, or the people that they grew up with, or have, and this person is just shocked about like such thing, and then just the element of harm at this sort of stuff happening to people, that story or that event, or somebody had to go through a cheating spouse, or boyfriend girlfriend or whatever, that sort of trauma, like, you're passing on trauma. It might have not been a big deal for you at all, because you realize that this is not an issue with you, but you might have picked up for you might have picked up something you might have picked up something to protect or shield yourself from it, right? So picked up something from this person who was telling you the story about somebody else cheating on someone, right? So what is the defense mechanism? So some defense mechanism. You don't need to protect yourself from some things. You kind of have that foresight. You have that foresight. These things are not going to me, so I do not need to worry about this. But uh, if even if those things do come to pass, it's like, that is not a cause of concern, like that is not going to affect your mind. So you're not going to protect you don't have to protect your mind in certain categories of things. You let it flow in. Basically, you have to protect your mind. You are a sovereign being. You don't need anybody else's influences, anybody else's defense mechanisms, okay? And these are very, very small and petty things that you are surrendering. Like, you are feeling free and you're feeling so much more stronger, right? You're like, okay, this is because I am there's sort of some invincibility feeling going on here. Like, I have infinite creative abilities, and that's why you've kind of surrendered it. And this has been a very long, lifelong process, okay? So this shift that is happening on the sudden shift in life, like, none of the things matter to you anymore. Just don't that uh, you had trained your mind to be alive by, or think that it's a threat. All of that just stops existing. All of those fears and traumas that were induced into your psyche by other people, right? That is the third party situation over here. Once that shift, this major conversation, like, and this is a back and forth conversation that's coming in, because a traditional commitment, uh, commit- uh, uh, this card speaks about traditional commitment, like husband and wife kind of commitment, life partner. That sort of conversation is coming in. So there is going to be a back and forth. There are two people here, right? Back and forth. There is going to be conversation here. And then this is also Taurus energy, and that's going to shift. So whatever we did while the North Node was in Taurus, right? uh, all of the seeds that we've planted, all of the work, all of the self work that we've done on each other is allowing us to speak to our divine counterpart here. We're talking about divine counterpart showing up. It's allowing us to speak up and openly, with a very clear mindset, with a very, very clear mindset and vocabulary, like the same love language, same commitment, same professional language is being used amongst two people. I'm seeing this as two people, life partners talking to each other. This is a romantic situation, okay? Uh, but going up ahead, we will probably be finding uh, other scenarios, probably, okay? So these influences are also by romantic situation influences and fears, all right? Because you have the Ace of Cups right here at the beginning. And then we have the Six of Cups, clarifying the Six of Cups here. So that is literally love situations. Sorry. So there is something disappointing about this official separation, okay, and payout that you're supposed to be giving to another person. So this settlement or a business partnership breaking up settlement, or you just having to pay somebody off. It's like all of that surrendered has been points and figures for this karmic lesson for uh, overall basically means you're uh, learning more about the super soul is learning through you on how the plane of existence works, how the dimension works. Super soul is learning through you, right? So, and there are many of us here who are teaching the super soul what it means third dimension is like, right? So that's what that information that we're relaying. And so we get a lot of companions, and some of them are extremely disappointing, and they spending time with them has been uh, the reason why you're having to go through this purge, this extraction, this exorcism. You know, we have the devil card here, so it might as well say. So you might be exorcising the demons in your mind, and you're realizing that this person put you through so much ordeal, right? And is continuing to do so. So you're basically extracting all of the information that you have gained on this individual. You incorporated it in your mind uh, so that you can relay that information to source, right? So that process is done. Your karmic lesson, the karmic chapter is done in your life, right? Now that to be recorded in the account, you know, okay, recording this ending of all of the karmic information that I needed to source, God, universe, oversoul, whatever you resonate with. Now, for that to go in the records and the library, it has to have a numeric value. So that money that you need to give is just that. It's just confirming with the universe that a person from the collective, uh, divine counterpart, soulmate, such and such person, you, I, whatever, we have recorded it under this. Money is the best we have right now to generating a numeric code for the Akashic record maintenance. Okay, that is exactly what you're doing it. Having to give this person some money. Okay, so divorce settlements. Why did you go to do it? Just record entity. Okay, which will release you from uh, the matrix, the illusion that you needed to function in, right? All this time, that will it will release you from having to deal with the matrix energies as well. So if anybody is wondering why is this, why am I seeing the same sort of stuff online, why am I seeing the same sort of stuff outside in the simulation, whatever you see, the same type of person repeated, but like, you know, with a little bit of adjustments, the same set of people, the same set of blocks, the same sort of, you know, like, you know, concerns coming in. This, it's like, why is it here? Like, you know, why is this energy lingering around? Why is the third energy lingering around? Why is my family still reacting like this to such and such thing? Why is my uh why is my business partner always this type of a person? Why is my best friend always this type of a person? And why are they like, even if they are a different type of people, why are they always like this with me? Why my business partnerships like this? Why is my family in why is my relationship with my family is still like this? Like, all of that is a third energy with your life, basically. And the only clarity that you're looking for right now, collective, and the only clarity that you're going to get is that it's ended, it's done. It's just like you're going to lose the ability to look into that third energy. Okay, but this is still an entire 2 weeks process. Okay, and then it's just going to disappear. It's going to be shut. It's like it's the end of the film. It's the end of the TV series. It's the I mean, there is no prequel in order. There is no sequel. It's not going to be picked up. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's like that. Or it was just like one. It's literally it's showing up like that. And in the world, like this third energy, this like an outdated third energy, like we no longer have to function in the illusion of those kind of fears, or all those kind of uh, ex- excessive external opinions type of mindset. Okay, which we, when we were younger, we needed people to tell us something. Okay, how do you deal with this? This is how I dealt with child when I was your age. Okay, there was a time, but now you're done with that, right? You're done with that. And you could be of any age, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to be a child, or there is no age number that we grow out of being uh, needing information, as long as it takes, and how long, how much ever longer. If you're reading this message, it's like no more. Okay, so if it has taken you 75 years in this lifetime to learn as much as you can about this karmic plane, about earth's in earth school, right? So that in this lifespan you were supposed to submit your feedback report to super soul, universe, god, uh, whatever resonates with you, and you're supposed to submit. It's just a time sometimes, these many years of your life, you're going to have to, no matter what, even if it means something to you, it doesn't mean something to you. It's got, you just got to keep observing. But it's like this full moon is a time where you can surrender that duty. If you've come across this reading, you can surrender that duty. You can remove all of the third parties in your life. Okay, all of the third parties suitable to you, right? So far you have been creating things that are in your mind, and these are all observations of something external, but they did have a mirror inside your mind. Okay, that was a reason. So I think they did have a reason, a mirror inside your mind, is because um before we evolved, before we started, the great awakening began, right, in this age, before the age of Aquarius. Let's say that, just to put a milestone here, before the age of Aquarius we had the age of Pisces. We were in the age of Pisces. The ages work differently, apparently. Okay, so we were in the age of, the sequence of the ages are different, right? So you sequence of the ages. So when we were in the age of Pisces, what we our mind had these mirrors placed inside them, because it's necessary for us to deal with other people's opinions. But with the shift in age and the new into the new age, we no longer need that. And that's why possibly you were bombarded with a lot of third party type of energy situation people, um, karmic marriages especially, okay, and also the person who is not the people who are not in karmic marriages or relationships, those type of people, you just like get swarmed by a bunch of people that are not good for you. Okay, and when that just heightens, when that just peaks, it's just like for you to actually acknowledge and willingly surrender, like knowingly surrender, king of swords and four of swords, you're like knowingly surrendering this, and that all of that is going to get crystal person who's going to be the depiction of that karmic interference energy, and that chapter with that person is going to completely close. With that, a lot of people are going to go away collective, okay, and it's like this communication is also coming in for and any of you who were in karmic uh, connection, okay, romantic or platonic, it's going to be, they're going to clearly communicate this, that it's done for good. That's confirmation that this is definitely happening on the 18th of July. And then my phone buzzed, it rang, okay. Then we have the daughter of pentacles. Change the mind is going to be pure authentic, purely authentic, purely genuine. The functioning of this is going to be so different. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. It's happening. It feels like you all your life, like years and years, years and years, you've been through these karmic lessons, and your mind works, and you know it, like it's like if you want to order that pizza, if you uh, like your mind's going to be like, oh, what, like pizza, calculate the calories and things like that. But after the after this in this new beginning, the day after the new moon, it's going to be like, it's food. I uh, i respect food. I respect the fact it's I respect the fact that someone has made this food, made this available to me, whether it is something very, very fattening or whatever it is. You're going to actually look at it authentically and genuinely for what it is, right? It's pizza, it's food, it's delicious, right? It's going to fill you up, it's going to satiate, right? So you're going to see things for what they are, right? And it's going to be really different because you are not going to carry any of the fears. Fears are submitted a long time before, like it's happening as we speak. The fears are getting surrendered, but there's going to be one sort of final confrontation, because we have the two swords here and the queen of pentacles and the devil. One sort of like confirmation, or you might be called to witness, and I'm talking about spiritually, okay, spiritually called to witness some sort of exorcism, or some sort of mind some sort of psychological treatment. So yeah, be prepared, because they do require assistance on exorcisms. So be on the lookout. This might be a spiritual lesson. I don't know who I'm connecting with on the through this channel or through YouTube, but yeah, I did get I started getting some sort of weird weird content, not weird content, but I'm calling it weird. It's because it looked very superficial uh, in comparison to the subject matter that they were covering. So they were. I got a set of videos on my newsfeed on YouTube for exorcism. What is the exorcism pre-exorcism diet, and talking to an exorcist, but the way they were interviewing the way they were speaking, like, the tone of voice, the setting, all of that was maybe to make it a little normal, to normalize it, to not make it look so biblical or otherworldly or out of style, out of fashion. That connection with that content, but that was beside the point. But what I'm trying to say is that there will be a sort of you confronting the devil through one person, that one top karmic. And even if you feel like this has already happened before, it's going to happen again. And this is it could go either way, okay, for anyone. I want to say that this is a stranger for majority of you, except for the ones who are in the last lifetime over here, like, and in the divine counterparts are part of, consciously part of each other's life, and this conscious acceptance of the divine counterpart relationship in the 3D physical the thing. For them, I'm so sure that this is a person that's going to come back around. For the rest of uh, the collective, it is going to be a stranger that you're going to confront, but it's going to be a collection of all of these things that you're surrendered to source, so that you face them finally. But coming to the place where we were, okay, this wheel of fortune, that is a day after the new moon, okay, this moon cycle from full to new moon. I'm saying full to new moon, not new moon to full moon, is because we have a very major uh full moon happening, the super moon, first super moon of the year happening just tomorrow, all right, in the next 24 hours. And I started this reading in the pre full moon energies, right? So, and there is a lot of symbology here for it being the starting point being full moon, with the Queen of Pentacles here in the center. And we had the Page of Pentacles here twice. So your mindset is going to be completely changed, and it's going to be new. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be so so amazing is the word that I'm getting. So amazing to deal with, to see your mind function like this, okay, without any sort of concerns and fears. With the feeling, fear arises at the pit of your stomach. It rises at the pit of your stomach is when you know that it doesn't serve you. Something is not serving you. It's basically sometimes it is basically your mind functioning in the way does not serve you at all in your best interest. The type of soul you are, the kind of path you're on, all of that, it just doesn't serve. Your mindset isn't serving. And that is why it's felt like a juggle. That's why it's felt like a struggle to sustain happiness or peace of mind, or just peace in general in your life. It's felt very difficult to sustain that peace because of all the crap that you have absorbed from other people. I say crap is maybe it serves them, okay? It serves them, but it definitely doesn't serve you. That sort of mindset, that sort of thought process, it doesn't serve you. That's why you've been struggling between like anxiety and depression, because most of the times human beings just interact with each other in terms of past and future. What do you want to do later on in your life? It's 3 o'clock. Or what has your past been like? You're never interacting with other human beings in what in present aspect, reflecting it. If you were in a situation with a bunch of people, how much awareness was there on the fact that something is happening right now? We need to deal with something right now, right? What were your activities and your interactions focused on observing the present situation? So when you focus so much on the past, you go through to depression, right? This is bipolar mindset. Go through depression, and when you're thinking about the future, you go through because you're expecting a certain outcome. And what you've ignored is everything in the middle that is going to balance it out. And that is because you've been constantly told to, what, this happened to such and such person in the past, or okay, what about the future? What will happen when it's like other people, the way they have interacted with you has just been outdated or too far away for it to have any kind of form. It's like it's too far out into the unknown. It's like we reach it is that far. So it's just like it just pulls you towards that far away bridge where you're like, oh my god, you're anxious, or am I going to be able to make it till that point? And what is going to happen along that point? Am I going to be healthy? Am I going to have money? Am I going to, etc., etc.? So that gets anxiety up. It is all it The reason why we go through this is because of other people's thought processes, us adopting other people's thought processes, other people's mindset. Okay, based on cultural programming, religious programming. Some things might have been done in the family for years and years again, successively. And then you think that that is how you're supposed to think, like, that is what you're supposed to do because it's always worked out. And all of that is causing a lot of stress, which is which, like I said, you're going to get clarity on it. You're going to get a lot of clarity on it with the sun card. This is going to be the new moon on the 17th of uh, July 2023. There is something about August which is going to come up, but I would prefer to incorporate that reading in August. There is something about August that's coming up, like, and obviously we have the Lionsgate portal, but I just wanted to mention it right now because that content will be coming up August. So a massive shift is going to happen. 31st of August is also the date that I got. So 31st of August, life is going to be completely different, and it's going to start here in the 17th of July 2023. Okay. Um, all right. So I see that we have the star card and the mother of swords, clarifying the moon card. So there is definitely going to be a release of some sort of information, some sort of fact and information out, like, public release, of somebody's making a public statement, and they're having to do this, and it's going to go viral. I want to say that, but that's such a bad word, or just a very bad phenomena that happens. It's just going to be spoken out, like, this information, the secret is going to be no longer needed to be kept a secret or confidential. That's all I have for you. This is going Whoever this resonates with, like, you're going to be free to speak. You're going to be able to show up in your authentic intelligence. Like, maybe you've had to pretend to be stupid, but then you're like, beautiful mind and genius kind of thing, and then now you get to live like that. It's going to be done. All right. So what do we have here? We have the Eight of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. Clarifying the Nine of Cups. This is definitely growth. Somebody is getting a return on investment here. All right. Excuse me. That sneezing generally in all the cultures means that it's That's true. Okay, whatever you said is true. Somebody is getting a return on their investment, which can mean that they investor, uh, you are going to be able to return the investment with higher this thing, and then you are going to uh, be able to withdraw your retained earnings and savings, or you're going to get higher investment, or whatever you've done so far in your work, in your life, even if you're not a businessman, even if you're not dealing with investments, whatever you have invested in, you're going to get a big amount of return. But this is literally technical. So uh, if you've invested in multiple businesses, if you have a portfolio of investment, you're going to get a very large amount of money, and that is going to elevate your status is going to get elevated, and this is amazing. Wish granted, wish fulfillment, especially when it comes to money, careers. All right. We have the Six of Pentacles, a High Priestess, and Mother of Wands. We had the Father of Wands earlier. Okay, so the divine counterparts did show up. We have two types of divine counterparts here, or two confirmations on divine counterparts. We had the King and Queen of Wands, and we have the King and Queen of Swords here. All right. So, okay, a World card. No more holding back and short changing your intuition. You know, or you know what you are, uh you know what you're surrendering, and you know what you're made up of. Okay, so you're surrendering portions that are limiting you, and limiting your vision of your own intuition. So, intuition is basically sending you some sort of visions through portal this portal from the new moon to the full moon. Your intuition is sending some visions, but there is something, you are limiting yourself because you're being protective. You're just being protective of your what especially your heart, protective of your heart. You There's possibly a need to protect yourself, your heart, and your own money, like, just like the money that you have available to spend, maybe in your wallet, or uh, money that you've budgeted for small expenses. You might have to you might there might be a necessity for you to be very, very careful about it around the person, a certain set of people. And that is basically for to be so much more practical on a minute scale, that you are not willing to take risks, but in a new world of a uh, completely different reality. And it's happening right now. Energetically, it's happening right now. You've moved there, you're being moved there, right? On the horizon, we have the Two of Cups. There is going to be, literally, I heard, like, an official ceremony, like, this is telephonic communication, like, a lot of communication happening, like, there's arrangements possibly going on about this Two of Cups, this relationship coming together. So yeah, okay, so it's, collective, be prepared that you be prepared to enter a committed relationship. It can be okay. So the people, the is already married. You will be sort of a very big anniversary. Okay, big anniversary that's coming up, and that you're making arrangements for that. People who are single, you are going to get married. There's going to be a some sort of public announcement ceremony that you are going to have to arrange. This could be a proposal, because since we have the Ace of Cups here. All right. So it's, I see some sort of celebratory arrangement happening. It's coming up, and it's coming up faster than you think. All right, so that is why I'm telling you, especially ladies, like, like, just this is the towers of surprises, and it's like suddenly, like, you're not expecting this. Somebody, if your guy thinks that it's going to be very cute to surprise you and throw this event, and they have a bunch of people that 4717, that is four of wands, that is like marriage, like a card, engagement, proposal, whatever it is. And 717 is union number. We've heard it from several people who channel angel numbers. Okay, all I want to say is that nothing is really ever a surprise. It's just that uh, proposal or is planning or organizing this event, party, anniversary party, they are keeping it, the time and date, secret from you, but you kind of know that this is coming up, so be prepared, or not, like, live the surprise. If you're one of those who's okay with showing up in a like in a very very casual way to one of the biggest events of your life, then that's okay too, that's fine too. Like, it's just, you're going to be this energy that's coming towards you of union, of actually celebrating a benchmark of union of your relationship. That energy is already coming towards you. How you want to deal with it, what clothes you're wearing, where you are, might not be such a big. Your That energy is going to be very, very, very large, and it's just going to blast out of nowhere. Okay, it's like you feel that things are not moving. There is a block. You don't see it. Not a block in the sense, you don't see that event because that's been purposely hidden from you, and you're like, okay, and then it suddenly hits you, this new beginning. You're gonna be like, oh wow, like, oh, this event, this happened, this celebration, this engagement, this proposal, this anniversary celebration, it's happened. My anniversary, it's happened already. Oh my god, this is the date. This Today is the date, this is the time. Oh wow, it's going to be like that. Okay, it's going to be like that, and life is going to change completely afterwards. Okay, it's going to be completely different. Like, the way you think, what you do, your routine, all of that is going to be very very new. It's going to be very very new, and it's going to be auspicious. This is what I wanted to say. This is the word that I wanted to use since the past few hours in the reading. It's going to be very very auspicious, very 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 auspicious indeed. And this new beginning, this new life is going to be very very. We have the moon card, the two of swords, and the two of pentacles, clarifying the eight of swords. Like I said, the confrontation. This could be in a very secluded place. Um, I don't see. I don't see this as a place which is isolated, but it's secluded. It's not, definitely not a chance encounter. You're going to have like backup. Maybe the police is involved in this for some of you. Okay. So this confrontation with this karmic is going to be the final showdown. Confrontation is going to be at night. It's going to be around this crescent leading to the new moon. So it could be the next few hours. It could be today, or it could be a couple of days after the new moon. Sorry, I didn't, not before the full moon. Sorry, before the new moon. So it could be about, it could be about 10 days from now is what I'm getting. 10 days from now, not 10 days. Hmm. Anytime from any any anytime from next week onward, so a week after today, this confrontation will be happening. It's going to feel very routine because you've dealt with this person already, or this type of person, even if it's a stranger. This encounter is going to, yeah, it's going to be intense, but it's going to feel so routine, like you've dealt with this before, you've dealt with the situation, you're very 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 much ready and prepared, and you know this is a final encounter, and you're going to conduct it in such a manner as, like, this is a final encounter. But some very dark things are going to be released. Okay, they're going to be released in this conversation. Like, there's going to be back and forth conversation. You're going to be discussing some very very dark stuff. Not discussing, but going back and forth, arguing about um, some very dark stuff with this, in this final conflict, final encounter. I wanted to say final confrontation. Okay, the timeline is ended. Birth to you have given birth, like consciously you have created, you've given birth to such a beautiful timeline on the highest vibrating frequency for is available. uh, for you have created it, right? You've created it especially for yourself. So it's going to be stupid if the universe doesn't work that way. Like, you create something, you live it. So if you're feeling right now plan is because this is a final stage where everything is going to go. So you're going to start living in that happily ever, and that vision is going to become more and more clear. Especially it's like this karmic is stuck in this and the eight of swords. Their life, their time here, that they're, even if they exist in the flesh, in a body somewhere, their mind is done. It's done. Like, they are no longer be going to have any kind of influence on anything or anyone ever again. Okay, especially you. They're being far removed because you've moved slowly and steadily towards your the timeline that you have created in your best interest. All right, so actually see that you're going to actually see all the demons in your mind came from this source, this devilish entity. Okay, you're going to see that, and you're going to find none of this karmic images, karmics, uh, anything reference, nothing ever on that new timeline. If you look at it, that is how far you've moved along from this karmic, and it's just like you need to see it one last time before you that's why you're meeting this person. If it's stranger, this karmic energy that has been troubling and toying with you is being crystallized and put into one person, and you're going to confront them, or you already know this person. And in that case, like, they become like that, they are the only embodiment, they're the only vessel, they're the only body that can house this 5 5 as I said, that the only body that is going to, it's not going to change hands basically. Okay, it's this energy through this person. It's the final destination of this karmic entity that has been haunting you. This person is this final destination, and I saw a final confrontation and ending to all of that. You're going to see all of that, all of the crap that goes on in your mind that was causing anxiety and depression and all of that. You're going to see that karmic say and speak, right? There's going to be confrontation. That was the source, this was the energy. The page of pentacles here, we're learning something right now as we speak. Yeah, of course, we're seeing we're seeing life for us. We're learning so much about the mind, our own mind, the technology, the of our mind, the capability of creating it. So like if we're in a room and there is no one here, right? 577, uh I don't know, that number keeps coming up randomly just in places. Whenever I see it on the timestamp here, I'm going to say that because union is coming closer, like we discussed earlier. That event is just going to suddenly appear. So be a little physically prepared, at least, because you might not get time to do your hair or whatever. Okay. So you're learning. So if you're in an empty room, right, and you're yourself, you might be learning you can change what is outside your sight according to your own preferences. It's just literally like landscaping a garden to suit your view. Okay. So your mind is capable of doing that, and you're learning how to do it. You're learning how to do it. That is something that is fascinating you. You're creating the world around you, and now once you surrendered all of the other people's requirements, right, other people's opinions, then you're going to be able to create your own version of it. It can have anything, you know so be very careful. Your understanding of how to protect your visions, protect your creations, and etc. Like, how to this is discernment. Like, the king of sword is discernment. Discern what is good for you is not, purely based on you, not because it's sin, not because it's hurting other people, not because it's unpopular. No, not because of anything external. Does me listening to horrible sounds coming from outside and just be looking at a concrete jungle outside my window, does it make me feel good? No, right? It's just that some people, it's like, it could be okay. I live in amongst a concrete jungle, but my experience, it is going to be very eerie and very soothing and lilting, very calming. Discerning what you want to create, to make sure wherever you are creating a great life experience. You're discerning that, and your deepest, most fondest of desires, you're actually constructing the ability to let them live, let them see it. And you're doing this from a space, like a sacred space, your home. You have found a space where you can actually create this from and transform the world around you. So some of you might be living in ancestral homes, like family homes, right, where your parents grew up, or your great grandparents grew up, or great grandparents grew up, or you know, or you might be living in that city. You might have some ancient roots, and you're transforming it. You're seeing it transformed, as if like magic. It's because you've manifested it. You manifested that transformation, so that wherever you're living, you're going to have a great experience, and your mind is very, very clear. It's, I wanted to say, dead set on giving yourself a great experience. Okay, you have all the technical aspects of it covered as well. How long does it take for this tree to grow, or this building to set up? You are it's like those fairies that do everything overnight, like literally constructing buildings and things like that. We have that in the mythology. So it's something of that sort, and you're like, okay, if that would happen, then how long would it actually convert into human hours, like, earth hours and minutes? And then you're like, okay, can this be sped up? Yes, because I needed to go, need this to be done, like at such and such thing, or it, the work that it requires, that goes into transformation, if it is noisy, if it's construction and things like that, if it's noise, it happens at times where I am not listening to it. Those kind of very, very genius level things. We have the Knight of Wands here. It's like somebody is just rushing out, like, out of the scene, like, just running away from this. This is like a bunch of people who've understood, like, to stay away from you, because a judgment is being called upon people who are being very reckless around you, vindictive, like, it's like the universe has your back, kind of a thing, and people have realized this, and they just want to run, like, they want to escape your vicinity so that they don't get caught up in the judgment. But that doesn't work like that. It uh, Maybe they did something. There are people who did not, who are very bad with you, and you have no idea about it, and you don't really care. Those type of people are just running away from you, okay? Because you're showing up in a sort of, I'm not going to take any sort of bullshit, because I don't need to. It's a that alchemical process, at it on in the present moment, combining the two, like, what was in my life and what I want it to be in my life. You have that conversion ratio, you've learned that, and that process is done. It's underway. It's 14 days. It's literally doesn't matter. It's a very short span of time compared to the length of life you've already lived, and the length of life you're going to be living in the future, okay? So that alchemical process is the present moment, and it temperance is like, you feel like 1 second has been expanded into like a year, okay? You are, it's going to feel like it's a long phase. It's the longest 2 weeks of my life. Yes, but also it's a it's like Angel Michael and your spirit guides are basically telling us to enjoy it, savor it, savor the moment where you got the formula right. Okay, formula right. Okay, this is so much being, just going away silently, walking away. Uh, there'll be one or two dramatic exits, like, hey, I don't need to be friends with you anymore. You silent exits. A lot of people exiting your life, from the past. They were part of this, like, collective lesson that we were learning about our roots, any cultural common roots that we had, that were keeping us in place, making us climb these mountains after mountains, these lessons that required us to climb mountains after mountains. People who were literally in the same boat with us, they're going away. They're being sent away, is what I wanted to say. I try to keep the words as they are in my head, but sometimes, I'm guided to change them, and I do refer to the original word that came in. Okay, but yes, the past is kind of, has been about including something external. It's been about including something external, and because it's external, it really comes in the form of another human being, and then you become friends with them. You have some sort of arrangement, some sort of relationship with them. It can be basic. It could be like employer employee relation, okay? Or your neighbor. How do you relate to this person? So all of that, like, I see that, some people who might have been there in place of somebody else. Okay, so if you and such person was supposed to experience this together, but then somebody else took that place, right? All of that is, this is like that karmic soulmate who might have tried to wedge in between your partnership with your divine counterpart, your twin flame, or your highest level soulmate. They are exiting very quietly. This could also be like a highest level soulmate who did not expect you to figure this out, figure the entire lesson out in this lifetime, and actually move into moksha, liberation, and with a divine counterpart, and go that way and leave them behind. This could be your highest level soulmate, also digesting the fact that you're done with your lesson, your karmic lesson. Okay, and they're walking away silently and gracefully. Okay. um we have the Six of Wands, the Father of Cups, and the Judgment card, clarifying in the Ace of Cups. Like, this is literally your deepest, most beloved desires that you had kept hidden because you thought that it was, you didn't want anybody to see that they are coming out with a force, because it's like the Father of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups, is like all of um emotion that is hidden, right? It turns into potential energy. The potential is basically being a potential is basically being unleashed here. The potential of your dreams, the potential of your desires of this lifetime, how who you want to spend with, where you want to spend your lifetime, and all of that is liberated out and not surrendered, but it's going to spread. It's spread its wings. Look at that. It's going to, and this is like Archangel, and his energy is completely um different to completely different to other archangels. He comes from Dorvenka. Archangel Dorvenka helps you to tap in your untapped gifts and resources and to accept those who are different. Okay, he oversees the Bat Kingdom. So now the people are going to explode into your life. So this Archangel Dorenka is, it comes from that different sort of frequency of a place of existence, a non-physical place of existence, right? Whereas Archangel Michael and all the other archangels have been working so purely on, like, how does it impact, like the karmic plane of existence, the physical dimension. This is a very different energy, and he came through to me in one of the readings the other tarot readers did, and she does pick a pie, and all of the other readings that of hers, only one resonated, only one of the readings where I could actually make a choice and say, no, this is only one pile is for me. All three for me to get the get the music, okay, get the message. But this reading, I think it was especially to introduce me to my, which is Archangel Dorenka, and how I sensed it as being some like associated with bats and bad people, Batman, that is popular media, and how, like, the perspective is so different. Bats hang upside down. That's why it's the hangman symbology. And then this wild unknown, we have the bat as the hangman. So I've always wondered who is this spirit guide, like, guide that I have. And it it comes from the void. So cold fire is the entity of the void, and I said it, and I gave it the name cold fire because of the rage that the fire, the raging fire that burns inside a Gemini's mind, like, especially if you're Gemini sun or Gemini moon, you might have felt that cold fire, like, detached, apathetic fire. But then when that fire burns, it's like you kind of build a bridge, and you're able to connect. And that's how I see Archangel Dorenka. It's like you need to, the way he is released is through a very uh, it's a very energetic process. It's a very ether, if we take ether in the way that it is actually, uh, so entity of the void, and akashic records, building a bridge to the akashic records. So what I'm trying to say is, like, there is this entity that works in the background, and it is an archangel. It is a spirit guide. It's working in the background on a completely different frequency to all the other archangels and spirit guides. Okay, it's a completely different frequency uh, of functioning, and that is where the solutions are coming from. That is where this information is being liberated into. So there is some sort of protection, there is some sort of shielding against uh, any onlookers or prying eyes if anybody wanted to see. So you basically are working with the shadow aspect of the universe. You're working with the dark universe, where you are going to be able to live that happily ever after, purely based on what your collective idea of your happily ever after is like. Okay. Also, Archangel Dorenka is comes uh, to very few, I wanted to say, but in a very selected space of work. Like, it's evoked, it's released for a very specific purpose, very, very specific purpose. So this could be for all people who are going through karmic endings after having found union on their twin flame journey, after finding internal union, uniting the two polarities, negative, positive, masculine, feminine polarities. Okay. After that, like, you already have this person in your life, your divine counterpart is here, and now you need to release the happens, like the desert times, and all get activated, the situations that are happening. This is also spiritual awakening into the real realm and dimension of existence. The real frequencies will come through. You, that's here as well. Okay. So you have gone there, you've gone there here with, this could also be Archangel Drenka, when you are hiding your desires, your deepest love of whatever it might be, nature, music. I said music earlier, right? That's why I said music. Whatever it might be, it could be a physical activity, like, you want to try to fly, like, actually skydiving and things like that. Could be any of those, like, very, very high vibrating, the highest vibrating activities, achievements, feat of humanity. Like, you want to be the dare angel, not devil. You want to be the dare angel. Like, Duranka is helping you do that, and that's why he's there for the ones who choose to liberate themselves from this material world illusion and purge all of that toxicity out. That's why you might be guided to drink a lot of water. You might hear it somewhere else. Drink a lot of water, keep yourself hydrated, drink a lot of water, because water is the best way to flush out all the toxins. Do a detox diet. You cannot have a detox diet for a very long time. You can do it maximum for 5 days, not more. So be careful. So if you're going on a detox diet, keep it very, very small. Probably a does not extend on to the third day. But if you need water afterwards, because the detox process will require water to flush the toxins out. um, it's basically your consciousness uh, merging on in both the physical and the non-physical dimension. So what is going to come through specifically for you, uh, uh, divine counterparts, is very clear, like your happily ever after promised land. But trust me, your mind is going to be completely different. So it's going to not just ease up, it's going to feel exhilarating. It's going to be like your life is an amusement park, like, and or Harry Potter, and or whatever, like, that speaks magic to you. All right, I'm not even going to say, like, be careful about what you're thinking when visualization. Just accept the great visuals that you're getting, the great magic that's coming through. All right, next reading, thank you so much for being here, for your likes. Share this with somebody you think might be able to use my content and readings to get a better experience of life, and also hit the notification. I will be doing mostly doing live, so you will be informed when I am live. Okay, thank you.